There are some major commercial operations opening in the city of Philadelphia, including the first U.S. Michael Jordan World of Flight store right downtown, Insomnia Cookies headquarters, as well as a couple others we're going to break down next that are great news for the city and a return to Center City after a lot of businesses moved out during the pandemic, which we're going to explain the impact on real estate here shortly. If you get some value out of this, you like what you hear, make sure to subscribe to the channel, hit the bell for notifications, and if you want to schedule a call about how this could affect your real estate plans, make sure to click on the link in the comments. So this to me is incredible. Philadelphia is going to be the first domestic stop for Nike's Jordan-branded World of Flight stores. So there's right now 2 of these open in Japan and Dubai. So Philadelphia, we are right there. Congratulations. It's going to be opening in a 7,000 square foot retail space that was built in 1921 right next to the New Balance store. It's at 1617 Walnut Street. So this to me is huge. The Jordan brand and Nikes, it's incredible what goes on and how much commerce and spending goes into these sneakers and the apparel and everything else, where if you're not following this stuff, there's websites where you have to literally bid on Jordans and paying hundreds and thousands of dollars for these sneakers. So the fact that the first U.S. World of Flight store is going to be opening in Philadelphia is huge. And we've seen a lot of businesses move out of Philadelphia, right? So seeing something like this that's iconic at a global level means that there's going to be hopefully more of these businesses opening. You know, if I'm New Balance, I'm pretty excited about this because I got Jordan right next door, and there's going to be some people that can't afford Jordans and want to go look around. They can come buy something more affordable at my location. So that's great for New Balance, and we're going to see more and more of that stuff happening. And on top of that, and you know, they had to do some historical commission approved changes for this store. The rendering here is pretty amazing. I'm going to see if Nick can put this up, where they have right at the store, there's like a Jordan logo coming up in one of the big windows right in the middle of it, which is pretty incredible. It looks awesome. I'm going to make sure that's in the post edit here. And I mean, this is going to be some stuff that's there's one in Milan, there's one in Tokyo, there's one in Seoul. I mean, these stores are all over the world in these iconic locations, and the fact that Philadelphia is getting one of them is going to be huge, and I think it's going to bring a lot of money into the city. So, and you have people like Jalen Hurts, who recently inked an endorsement deal with Nike in 2023. So, and there's the Nike factory store on 9th and Markets. This is all good news. And that's just the first of a couple of these here, because Insomnia Cookies headquarters is moving to the former Super Walgreens in Center City, which was at Broad and Chestnut, right? So you've got another big iconic company opening big headquarters downtown. That's great for residential resale prices. That's great for local commerce, because there's been a lot of companies that have shut down. Wawa recently moved out of Center City. So Insomnia Cookies is a Philadelphia-founded company, so that's probably one of the reasons behind this. They now have 200 locations around the U.S., and they're going to be testing. They're going to be testing a kitchen and office space, not just having, you know, the ability to go in there and make it a retail spot, but a kitchen and office space. And it's a prime space. I mean, right at Broad and Chestnut. That's right downtown. So that's going to be really, really exciting. The headquarters is going to be 23,000 square feet when it fully opens, and they're going to have 80 full-time employees there. So that's another big move for Center City retail, and as we know, the COVID-19 pandemic really hurt that. On top of that, Atlantic City's Rhythm and Spirits, which is a restaurant and chocolate-themed bar, I'm not into that, but some people are, they're opening inside Suburban Station this spring. So, you know, Suburban Station, if you've been there recently, there's not a whole lot of retail in there anymore. There used to be a lot of shops and restaurants and that sort of thing. Seeing something like this come into Center City and also have entrances off JFK between 16th and 17th, as well as inside the train station, that's another great thing for the downtown area, because when you get into like Center City, there's a lot of office buildings, right? You get on Broad Street, you see some retail, but this is in that kind of financial district area close to Love Park, so it's an interesting spot. And having something like that in there is going to be great for people, because they're going to catch commuters on the way home. They're going to catch people that are maybe traveling to New York or jumping on a train that way. So there's a lot of good things happening there. And it's going to be right next to Bar 32, which is run by the same owners. So it's going to have, food, it's going to have drinks. It's got like a tropical decor, if that's what you're into. Again, I'm glad to see more things opening in Center City. And the fourth of these is going to be Federal Donuts' new South Philly shop, and it's going to be the biggest one yet. So the store is located in a warehouse building not far from John's Roast Pork. So this is down in South Philly. It's a little different. It's at 22 Wolf Street, and it's been painted on this warehouse for a while. What they're going to be doing in there, because Federal Donuts closed its original store on South 2nd Street. The new South Philly store is going to feature seating. It's going to be a lot different than the tiny place in Pennsport. And it's also closed its 34th and Sampson location. So there's really no sort of headquarters for Federal Donuts and Chicken, and it's under active construction right now. So what does all this mean? We're seeing these iconic Philadelphia brands and iconic global brands opening. What this means is people are ready to go back to the city. This is good news for the housing market there, because when commercial development happens, all of a sudden residential pops up outside of that. It's going to lift up residential prices in Philadelphia, which the Philadelphia market's been a little different than what we've seen in the suburbs. When you see a Jordan store, Insomnia Cookies, an Atlantic City restaurant, and an iconic Philadelphia brand open up, this tells me people are ready to start investing back in the city. This is great news for first-time buyers, because it's a lot more affordable buying a home in Philadelphia than some of the suburban locations. We know there's more inventory in Philadelphia than some of the suburban locations, and there's a lot to navigate here. These are all in different neighborhoods, by the way, even though they're kind of close. So you want to monitor what kind of development's happening in the areas you're thinking about buying a property in, and that's all the more reason to get someone to guide you through this process. So great news for the city, great news for these businesses. Hopefully we see more of it, as that'll lift up everyone, including the residential housing market.